Hey friends, today's lesson is a quick one for my beginner buddies out there, or maybe you're experienced but you haven't played with other players all that much and learned this yet, and what we're doing is learning how to count music properly. Okay, so when we talk about music and the time signature of a song, usually most stuff that you're doing in Western music is either in 4/4 or 3/4. And 4/4 is also referred to as common time. And what those numbers mean is the top number is how many of some kind of note in a measure. The bottom number is what kind of note that is. So 4/4 is 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple. You've probably done this before, counted like this to start a song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody rocks. So it's fairly straightforward. I've got a beat here, a simple 4/4 rock beat. And if I play it and count the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's counting just the basic quarter notes. Now, when you're playing with other musicians, sometimes you have to communicate things about where an accent is, or where maybe the first chord starts, or anything about within the beat that you're doing that you need to communicate with other people. And so that's not always on one of the quarter notes. It might be in between one of the quarter notes. And so that would be your eighth notes. Now, you could count 8 notes, 8, 8, same thing as 4/4, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Okay, and that's fine. But usually what you hear people do, and there's a reason for it that we'll get to in a moment, is instead of counting all the way up to 8, they stick the word "and" in between the quarter notes. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and... So you'll hear them say the accent is on the "and" of 2, meaning that you hit whatever that note is when you get to the word "and" after 2. Now, the reason for that is that we can also be talking about 16th note accents. And if you're trying to count your way all the way up to 16, it's going to get pretty ridiculous pretty fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10. I can't even do it in time. And there's too many syllables. You just can't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I'm not even going to try.
It's just so ridiculous.
So what the music community has done, long ago, some old classical dudes figured this out, is they stick the single syllable E and in between. So now you're sticking something in between each "and" in the number. So you've got 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E, and you're getting tired of hearing me count, I'm sure. So now you have a way to communicate. I need you to play an accent on the E of 1 E. So it's just that 16th note right after 1. Or in this case, with the beat that I have here as an example, the bass note has a little pickup there, the bass drum. And so if you were trying to communicate that to your drummer, or the drummer's trying to communicate it to a bass player or something, that they need to play that pickup note, and you want to get very specific about it, they're going to say it's on the of 2. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. So it's just a very simple way to communicate where you're placing things in time. And so when you're talking about odd times, then it's actually pretty easy. If you say have a time, a very odd one, like 5/8, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. So you would just have to convert, if it gives you a number of notes, 3/8, 5/8, 11/8, and figure out how that converts into your 1 and 2 and how many of those, just like I counted on my fingers there. And that's how you figure out how to count odd times, which is a little bit more advanced than a very basic beginner lesson, but at least you're starting to see how it works now, I hope. So I'll be referring back to this lesson probably pretty often through the beginner series, as I'm teaching you different ways to strum and talking about different ideas for how to improve your playing by accenting and using dynamics. And so if I'm talking about strumming on the "and" of every note, or putting an accent on the E of 3, you'll know what I'm talking about now. So guys, that was it. A couple minutes, very simple, but something that you're going to need to practice a little bit before you really have it down, like anything else, of course. And until next time, guys, keep making great music. Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It makes the whole world better.